you know, I was basically testing the, you know, the little marvel and the green arrow. Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here, I'm Kathryn, the Aerogarden Homesteader, and today we are looking at the outdoor garden, and then we'll look at the indoor garden. So we have grapes. It's exciting. We've actually had this vine for a couple years now, and this is the first year that it's producing fruit. So it's really cool to watch. And then over here in the cupboard, actually the cover has been working really well for protecting my pea plants. So I have been coming through and harvesting my peas. These ones are the little marvel. And so all of the sort of brown leaves that you see, those are the little marvel. And I've got some corn growing in here. I'm gonna have to uncover this soon because I don't want the corn to get sort of knocked back. And then I did find out those were turnips and not rutabaga, sadly. I like rutabaga more than I like turnip. I actually don't like turnip. Found that out the hard way. And then over here, I have the green arrow peas. So all of the ones that are dying, there's some that are still green, so they're still drying out, but they did really well with it being covered because the birds couldn't get to them. And interestingly enough, I always plant a couple of varieties of things because I don't know which one I'm going to like or what's going to do well in my climate or any of that stuff. And so, you know, I was basically testing the, you know, the little marvel and the green arrow. Well, surprisingly, I thought they would both do well, but the green arrow did really well. Like, I don't know if you can see the size of that pod? I mean, it's at least 3 inches, if not 4 inches long. And I've like consistently got a whole bunch of long pods and they're just filled with peas. It's just amazing. So I think that I'm going to seed save from the green arrow and I'm going to use that next year in the garden. And then our apple tree is under netting. We did get hit a little bit. Before we managed to cover it, there were some apples that had some hits on it. And again, you know, I don't know if that is the solution didn't work. I'll have to refer you back to the video where I talk about that, but I did make a sort of an attractant that was going to attract the bugs to a liquid and they would go inside and get, you know, drowned in the liquid. Or if it was just so windy that we just couldn't, like the attractant just didn't work because they just found the apples anyway. So I don't know what really happened on that, but like if you've used that molasses, cider vinegar, and ammonia stuff and you've had success with it, do let me know. So we do have a few pears, but they're really small. We got another one over there. I don't know if you can see that. The strawberries are just everywhere. I've got lavender all over the place. It's really hard to walk around in my garden. I just got weeds everywhere. But there's another pear here. It is a little bit bigger. So these are our pineapple crisp. Or sorry, these are our pineapple pears. And then those were our summer crisp. And that one didn't produce this year and we're not quite sure why. But yeah, so I don't know if you can see, but there is actually an apple in there that we probably need to pick because it probably got hit as well. So it's a bit sad. And of course, after we picked and destroyed all of those apples, we found a good use for them. Apparently you can save your hard green apples and make pectin with them. Did not know that. Oh, and can someone verify, is this mullein? And what can I do with it? I know it's good for like lung issues and all that, but no clue. The Google Lens told me it's mullein, so I'm just going to assume it's mullein. We did put in some more strawberry plants, so these are new strawberry plants along the back here, and I ripped out some more of the white strawberry plants, and I also get rid of some of my leeks that went to seed. My tomatoes are doing pretty good. They still seem a little small, but I feel like their growth starts out really slow and then it just explodes and all of a sudden I have these big huge plants. But these ones here are my yellow slicers, and then a little further on over here I do have beefsteak, and they're trying, but we went from a really mild spring, mild summer into holy cow heat wave, and we've just been like way up over 100, like 105, 107, 110 the last week. and it's just been insane. We've struggled to get the water, you know, to everything that needs it, especially since we, well, put in new strawberries, put in a new tree over here, put in some new blueberries out front, and, you know, I got all these herbs going on here, and the herbs and flowers. The onions are doing really well in these raised beds too, so that was a good call on my part. But anyways, I will show you how the inside gardens are doing. This is how the Back to the Roots tomato plant is doing. It's doing pretty good. It is really a very spread out plant, but we've got some nice new growth here. There's some more, let me see if I can get it to focus on it. There are some more flowers in the back that are coming up. Those ones are not actually under the light, so I don't know how well they will do, but they're there and they're growing. So, and then we have a few more tomatoes that are getting really close to being ripe, and there's a few more on this side as well. So this one is looking pretty good. I don't know how much longer it's going to have growth-wise in it. It does push out new growth, and it does push out new flowers, so see there's a new growth down here. So if it continues to push out growth and flowers and it continues to look pretty good, I will let it go. But once it starts getting, you know, if the branches start dying back pretty badly and it starts looking poorly, I will just take it apart and be done with it. So we will see how it goes. The other cherry tomato with the new harvest deck it's looking really good. It is just loaded with tomatoes. So it's a much more compact plant. I have no idea. I just don't remember if I chose the same type of seed or not, but the growth pattern on it is very different, even though the tomatoes appear to be about the same size. Now, I did have one tomato that did split, and I'm not 100% sure why, because that seems like something that would happen if it got too much water. Actually, that one just kind of popped off. So it did kind of split. So we'll just have to eat that one soon. But yeah, it looks really good. And then down underneath, let me see, can't really move much, but the main stem looks really good. It's nice and beefy. And there are a few sort of branches that have kind of died back that I just didn't see them in there because it's just so compact. It's incredible. The habanero is doing amazing. It does look like it has split, so I don't know, I'm kind of at a bad angle, but over here it does look like it has put out 2 branches of growth, so that's really good. There are some leaves here that I think I could start pruning off, because if you look underneath, it has so much bushy growth under there. I don't even know if I have ever seen a jalapeno or a pepper plant or whatever push out so much bushy growth. I mean, look, there's like a whole new branch down here already. So I'm gonna have to come through and just pinch off all of these sort of bigger leaves just to sort of help it get more light down there. But so far it's staying pretty compact and bushy, and it's staying within the confines, of the harvest, so that's really good. I don't know what will happen later on as it gets bigger, but I guess we'll see. But so far so good. Now let me see if I can show you the bottom here. So it looks really good. Now, I know that these can get really big at the bottom, so that's actually going to be the real test of this, because I've had some pepper plants that I had a really hard time getting out of the deck, let alone the basket. So I'm really curious to see how well this 3-inch pot does with a beefy pepper plant. And finally, here are how the jalapenos are doing. I did come through and I pruned back a little bit, so there are some, I don't know if you can kind of see where I clipped some of the leaves. I just pinched them off. So there's one up here. I've got some flowers, which I do try to come through and tap. So the ones over here, I did tap on them, and you can see they are starting to form their peppers. So that's pretty good. There are lots of flowers that are, I guess, peppers to be. They're not there yet, but they're getting there. And then this one is getting close as well. There are some flowers that are forming. And it's to the point where I could probably start pruning a few of its leaves off. It hasn't really put out a lot of side growth yet, but I can at least get rid of a couple more leaves that are in between them. But so far, they're doing pretty good. So that's sort of how they're looking overall. I've got a little bit of time before I need to put the light up again, but they're doing pretty good. And that is how the stems are doing. And then I did put the pipe on. I think I fed them slightly less food this time than I did last time, but so far they're doing pretty good. So I'm happy with how they're looking right now. As they put out more growth and have more fruit, I will definitely look into increasing the amount of food that they are getting. So, I hope you found this video useful. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll have some videos up at the end that you might enjoy, and I will see you next time on the Aerogarden Homestead.